Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we are diving into an absolutely fascinating story. It's a tale about karma, the business choices we make, and really the core of human character. It's like a masterclass in how our foundational choices dictate our ultimate success or failure. And the crazy thing, the whole shebang starts with a guy who is just trying to survive. So picture this. It's a stormy evening in a small village. The sky is completely pitch black. And here we meet Madhav. He's a desperately poor pav bhaji seller, just pushing his old wooden cart toward the crossroads. The stakes for Madhav? They literally could not be higher. His house has this leaky, makeshift roof, his kitchen is totally empty, and look, if he doesn't sell his food tonight, his wife Sumitra won't even be able to light their stove tomorrow. Now, as the rain really starts pouring down, a fellow villager named Birju tells Madhav to just pack up, go home before he catch a terrible fever, right? But Madhav responds with this incredibly powerful thought. He says, "Birju brother, a poor man fears hunger more than illness." He hasn't earned a single rupee all day. His sheer desperation, combined with this unwavering dedication to providing for his wife, keeps him standing right there in the torrential rain, just desperately shielding his food with a torn piece of plastic. And then, the inciting incident happens. A huge car splashes through the mud and comes to a halt. A sahab, a wealthy gentleman from the big city, steps out. He and his traveling companions are stranded on the road, and they are absolutely starving. So Madhav quickly fires up his stove, the rich smell of butter fills the air, and he serves them some piping hot pav bhaji. Well, the sahab is just blown away. He declares it's actually better than anything you'd find in the big city hotels. And as a reward for serving them in such miserable weather, he generously hands Madhav a massive 2,000 rupee note. To put that into perspective, to Madhav, it feels like he just became the richest man in the entire world. Now, what's really interesting here is the introduction of our antagonist. Hiding not too far away, just watching from the shadows, is Rajesh. He runs a small local grocery store, but the guy has a really bitter, envious heart. Seeing a poor street vendor suddenly make 2,000 rupees in a single night, yeah, that doesn't sit well with him at all. Rajesh immediately starts panicking that Madhav is going to become his equal. Actually, scratch that. He's terrified Madhav is going to become even more successful than him. So, could Rajesh tolerate this sudden success? Absolutely not. No way. So, Rajesh teams up with his sidekick, Kalu, and they hatch this brutal sabotage strategy. The very next evening, Rajesh and his gang show up at Madhav's cart and just start screaming. They're claiming the pav bhaji smells terrible, that Madhav is using rotten vegetables, and even worse, that he's actually using dirty rainwater to cook. And you know how it is in a small village, right? Rumors spread like wildfire. The villagers are terrified of getting sick, so they completely abandon Madhav. Despite his total honesty, he's left heartbroken, just sitting idle in the rain with zero customers. But truth has a funny way of revealing itself, and it leads to a massive turnaround. Just when Madhav is at rock bottom, that exact same city car pulls up again. It's the sahab, and this time he's brought his wife and a whole convoy of friends. He tells everyone right there that his wife loved the food so much she literally refused to cook at home. The amazing aroma of fresh butter and spices wafts through the air, and the villagers quickly realize, wait a minute, we've been completely duped by Rajesh. The village elders even step up to apologize to Madhav, and that night, every single plate of his pav bhaji is entirely sold out. Let's move along and see how this momentum builds his business over time. Remember, Madhav's ultimate dream was really just to fix his leaky roof. But with his hard-earned savings and the direct help of the village sarpanch, who totally recognized his relentless work ethic, Madhav gets a major upgrade. He moves from that old, vulnerable wooden cart into a small, rented brick-and-mortar shop right at the crossroads. He officially names it the Madhav Pav Bhaji Center. So, the crucial point here is how Madhav handles this newfound stability. He actually invites Rajesh to the grand opening of his new shop. He wants to bury the hatchet and keep that village brotherhood intact. But Rajesh, he flat out refuses to go. This perfectly highlights the stark contrast between these two characters. Madhav is operating from a place of abundance and forgiveness, while Rajesh is just completely consumed by a mindset of scarcity, jealousy, and bitterness. He literally just sits in his grocery store, plotting his next revenge. And sure enough, that revenge comes quickly. Rajesh pays a group of local thugs to go into Madhav's new shop, drop a plate, and loudly claim there are rocks in the food. It's a total attempt to destroy the grand opening. But fate steps in. Sitting quietly in the shop, completely in plain clothes, is the new village head constable, Raghuvir Singh. He walks right over and brilliantly deduces the truth. He examines the pebbles and loudly announces to the crowd, "Hey, these pebbles have no masala on them. They were clearly dropped in from above after the food was served." The terrified thugs immediately confess that Rajesh paid them, which completely clears Madhav's news. And this brings us to a brilliant illustration of their contrasting mindsets. Rajesh decides, well, if I can't beat Madhav, I'm going to copy him. He opens his own competing pav bhaji stall. But look at the stark difference in their business models here. Madhav is investing in fresh vegetables, high-quality expensive butter, and strict cleanliness. Rajesh, on the other hand, is driven purely by greed. He wants to maximize profit, so he cuts every corner imaginable. He buys stale vegetables, uses cheap dalda oil, and then just dumps in extra chili powder to hide the terrible taste. Which brings us directly to the concept of karma, the principle of cause and effect, where your intent and actions influence your future. Rajesh's greedy business model backfires almost immediately. His cheap, contaminated food quickly makes several villagers violently ill. When the complaints reach the village council, the Sarpanch steps in, Rajesh gets hit with a massive fine, and his shop is permanently shut down in absolute disgrace. I mean, his intent was to destroy someone else, but his actions directly caused his own ruin. Meanwhile, Madhav's honesty just continues to compound. His incredible story of integrity actually gets featured in a major city newspaper. A wealthy city businessman reads it, tracks Madhav down, and offers him a full partnership. Together, they open this massive, luxurious family restaurant on the main highway called Madhav Ki Asli Pav Bhaji. And best of all, Madhav finally achieves his foundational dream. He builds a beautiful, solid concrete house for Sumitra, making absolutely sure she will never, ever have to sleep under a leaky roof again. Which leads us to a truly emotional resolution. One day, Madhav is driving through his old village and he spots Rajesh. Rajesh is totally ruined. He's sitting outside his dusty, failed shop looking incredibly weak. Now, does Madhav gloat? No way. He walks right up to his old enemy and mercifully offers him a well-paying job as the store manager at his new highway restaurant. Completely overwhelmed by this radical forgiveness, Rajesh breaks down, and he gives us this quote. "I tried to ruin you, and you are supporting me. I promise I will never be greedy again." As we wrap up this incredible story, let's distill our key takeaways. First off, Madhav's journey proves that honesty and hard work are the actual bedrock of lasting success. We also see crystal clear that jealousy is a poison. I mean, it only sickened and destroyed Rajesh, not Madhav. But most importantly, true victory isn't just about financial wealth. True victory really lies in radical forgiveness. Madhav defeated his poverty with sheer hard work, but he defeated his greatest enemy with kindness. So, I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. Think about your own life, your own career, and the unique challenges you face. No matter how heavy the rain gets, are your intentions firm? Because as Madhav showed us, if your character remains solid through the storm, the sun is eventually gonna shine. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope these concepts serve you well, and keep on learning.